players' potential, like we talk about player development, is there limits to any players? Like, because with different training method, we have more and more advanced training method nowadays. Can we push the limits of perceived limits of a player? Can we push it higher and higher?
Yeah, of course. I think through the right training modalities, we can always continue to push the limits of players. I think there will always be certain physical limits. So if you're 6 feet tall and you're no longer growing, maybe we can get you, maybe like you'll hit 6'5", like 6'6.5" if we make your posture a little bit taller, but you're going to be limited in your height. Everyone kind of has a limit maybe in the vertical jump that they can reach, but through technique you can improve it. But again, those aren't per se maybe the most important thing is your skill, right? And to me, there is kind of no limit of how well you can continue to improve your skill. So I think there's a lot of untapped potential, and I think people who, it's almost a self-fulfilling prophecy if you put limits on yourself, right? If you say, oh well, this is the limit, well, it's going to be the limit, right? So yeah, I think there's a lot of untapped potential, and we can go a lot further than we think we can go.
All right, okay. Because I read the book, The MVP Machine, before, and one of the key takeaways is it said success stems not from focusing on finishing products, but from making the most of untapped potential. I mean, player development is huge in professional sports nowadays. So what's your take on that?
Yeah, so to me, what that quote represents is focusing on the journey and the process. The process of improving, then process of skill development, right? So I think if you're always focused, and a lot of times when we're in skill development and we're training, we try to remove the outcome. So if you're trying to learn a new skill, if you're always so focused on the outcome, like making the shot, it's very hard to focus on the skill itself, right? And we know learning is same condition but different behavior, right? So if we really want to encourage learning from players, if we want to test whether they're really learning, is when they're put back in their different teams or different game scenarios, and they're put in those same conditions. Are they making better reads? Are they making the right decisions? That's how we can really test whether they've learned through the training process, right? So I definitely agree that not always focusing on the outcome. I mean, outcome is important in understanding where we want to go, the end point, right? If we want to get to this area, we need to know where we ultimately want to end up to decide how we're going to get there, right? So if you type into your Google Maps right now, you type in a destination, we need to type in a destination so Google Maps can give us a lot of routes. There isn't only one way to get to the destination. Google might give you a couple ways, right? And you might hit detours and all kinds of things, but we ultimately do need to know the destination so we could decide how to plan a route to get there, right? But that process is going to be really important, because that process is the path to getting to our destination.